Let's continue our conversation with noted pollster John Zogby, who will be a part of our election coverage this evening on Newsmax TV. So, John, we hear Joe Biden there. Is he hedging his bets? Does he expect to see a Republican Senate?
Oh, I think he does. I think they see the handwriting on the wall. I think he at least sees the probabilities of a Republican Senate and setting the table. And I think what he said is probably right on the mark, because if Republicans do emerge controlling both houses, there are going to be voter expectations for them to govern, to get something done. They cannot go into 2016 running against the do-nothing Congress. So they're going to have to put some things up on the board as serious accomplishments. And I do believe that'll happen. Immigration, trade, those are things that have to be done and that both sides understand have to get done.
Well, something we'll be talking about post-election, but in the pre-election mode, with everybody going to the polls today, let's cast our eyes now on Kentucky. Mitch McConnell, it looked like it was going to be pretty tough against Allison Grimes, but Senator McConnell's fairly confident. Let's listen to what he had to say at a rally yesterday.
Victory is in the air. We're going to bring it home tomorrow night. After 6 years of borrowing and spending and taxing and regulation, these people need to be stopped, and it starts tomorrow night.
So will Mitch McConnell end up being a former senator, or can we expect to see him as Senate Majority Leader?
I think we can expect him to be Senate Majority Leader. You know, he was on the ropes earlier, but I think that that Allison Grimes ran a very poor race. I think she was put in a difficult situation, but there's one state, incidentally, where Obamacare is working, but she ignored it. And there's a situation where she denied her own president of the United States. And regardless of what your feelings are about the president of the United States, not very popular in Kentucky, but he is the message and he is the messenger. And to deny your own party's message and messenger, she denied herself.
And this prompts a question about North Carolina. We understand Barack Obama, President Obama, cut an 11th hour spot for Kay Hagan. Is that going to help her in the Tar Heel state?
It could very well. That state is all about an African American vote. Early voting is showing that a sufficient number of African Americans are coming out. In fact, considerably more are coming out in 2014 than came out in 2010. If that can be upped even more, those are pure and simple Democratic votes. And that's where Barack Obama can really make a difference there, and with younger voters, you know, in the Research Triangle area in Charlotte and so on.
Well, a couple of minutes left in this, and of course there have been concerns about vote fraud, and from where I sit, I've got a few problems with the fact that the Justice Department, with Attorney General Eric Holder, putting out a video on their website reassuring voters that rights will be protected. Let's take a listen to what the AG had to say.
One of the Justice Department's most sacred responsibilities is ensuring access to the ballot box for every eligible American. I want the American people to know that the Justice Department will stand vigilant, working in a fair and nonpartisan manner to ensure that every voter can cast his or her ballot free of intimidation, discrimination, or obstruction.
John, is that really a public service announcement or more of a political message aimed at African American communities?
It's B. Although it is a public service announcement as well. You know what, JD? Elections were just simply not meant to be close. Because when you do have close elections, and these sorts of things rise to the fore, and then you see just how nasty the process is, how ill-prepared many election commissioners are on a county level, and just how, dare I say the word, corrupt things can get, and actually on both sides. And so better to have a Nixon-McGovern election, and then we can all move on. But when they get close, it's ugly.
Final 15 seconds. It doesn't look like a Nixon-McGovern or a Johnson-Goldwater thing today. It looks mighty close. If the Republicans fail to live up to expectations, what's in the cards for them?
Real trouble, because they have difficulty with running a national campaign with the demographics of this country moving in the direction that they are. Demographics that are pro-Republican are actually declining.
Fair enough. John, we look forward to seeing you tonight as you're part of our special live coverage of the midterms You Decide 2014. Coverage begins with our pre-election special at 7, and then we'll start monitoring the turns at 8 here on Newsmax. Stay with us.